Thomas Andawana, we back once again with our installment at the Yellow Corner. And this time, we preview our game here on the Cape Town City. First game of the second game block of the season in the Betway Premiership as we host Cape Town City on Wednesday night at 7:30 at Loftus Versfeld. Just as I mentioned, kickoff time, I just remembered in the last preview, I fumbled, I made a blunder, I got the kickoff time wrong, and I knew what happened. I was looking at the fixture Sundowns on the PSL website, and had gone to, I think I was checking out the fixtures at December because I'll be with Rapelang that December. So I was checking out which previews we'll be doing really too. So in my mind, as I started recording, my mind was still on those fixtures that December just after half time. So apologies for that. Abs, how are you?
I'm good as on you.
You good?
Yeah, I'm good. As much as we lost against Polokwane City, I know everyone is sad and angry, but I'm okay, man. And one thing about the defeat, sorry to go too ill. I think one thing about the defeat, sometimes it is kind of okay to lose early in the league because of you get away from that mentality of going invincible, and sometimes it can be a distraction for a player. So as much as we lost, man, I think it's we are going to redeem ourselves and a lot of games that we are going to win going forward, man. But other than that, my worry gore, we are shooting at night and you are wearing sunglasses, so I don't know flop again.
You know, problem is, hey, I watched Sundowns yesterday. Uh, the performance was so terrible. It hurt my eyes, like it messed up my. It was such an eyes. It was such a terrible performance twice. So, unfortunately, I had. Oh, the performance hit my eyes. So hence I'm wearing the sunglasses and indoors shooting at night. Because hey, much work I'm so good from that performance. But yeah, jokes aside, man. Yeah, speaking on that performance, Abs, let's touch on thoughts on the game as well as the first game block because for me it was a terrible performance. Like I said, it was an awful performance. It was such a bad performance that I think technical team review players, when they watch and analyze it, and do the homework, they'll fall asleep watching that performance because it was just terrible. If we being honest. Uh, what shocked me is that within 8 minutes, you realize that we're playing with the wind behind us, and every time we played a long ball, it would go out because the ball would get pushed by the wind, and we continued doing that. Instead of maybe trying to lead play from the backline, middle field, and forward. Because what we're just doing in that game, getting long ball when the wind kept pushing the ball, I just couldn't understand. Or have our players turned into such robots that they are told to play the ball quick? I understand why we do what we do, but you need to read the situation. So I'm thinking, I'm asking myself, our players now the robots so that they just gonna launch the ball even when the situation doesn't allow for that. But yeah, it was a terrible performance. I'm not gonna lie. Having zero shots on target for Sundowns, it's unacceptable. But like you said, man, it's the first loss of the season. We take it. It will give us a lot of questions that we need to answer. And try and rectify all these things going forward. And speaking of the game block, 12 out of 15 points is not bad at all. It's actually good because we on course for 72 points if we continue like this. Even though I think 60 points wins the league, 60 plus wins the league this season. Not for every game block will get game 12 points. There will be game blocks where we go perfect, and then there will be others where we not so good. Maybe get a 1.9 so. But yeah, man, we will learn from that performance. Your thoughts?
Yeah, no, I think, yeah, no, yeah, that performance against Polokwane City, man, I think, oh, the more we speak about it, the more I realize that we are very poor, man. And I remember in the early in the season, we played Polokwane in Pretoria, and we played quite well. We're creating a lot of chances, and we won. So going in this game, Polokwane, I thought that this is the team that we are going to beat based on how we played against them early in the season. So I was disappointed with our players as well as the technical team as well. I think we could have done better, man. And conceding a goal towards the end of the game, Leona, it adds kore bohlokonyana on that defeat, man. At least a clean sheet and a single point would have been better, man.
And then the game block.
I think with the game block, I think I can take 12 out of 15. I think it's not that bad, man. And there are those game blocks still like you are going to collect maximum points. So I think 12 out of 15, it is not bad, man. I think it's something that I would take.
Yeah, no, I agree with you, Habs. Habs, that game was so bad that pathetic excuse of a referee, Tandon Zanzega, adding 3 minutes, when there were so many stops and our players winning all the substitution, yet he added 3 minutes at the end of the game. I couldn't even complain because I just couldn't wait for that game to end because it was just terrible. Even if he had said whether 1 minute, that would have been okay with it, but yeah, let's not dwell on that too much, man. Let's touch on our opponents, Cape Town City, man. Your thoughts on Cape Town City this season, man? From what you've seen, have they impressed you?
I think you look at their stats in the previous season, I think they finished position 5, and I think they did quite well, man. But my worry about Cape Town City is that this season they've signed decent, good players, man. They've managed to bring in the experienced Mukocho as well as both Domingo and both Chueza from Namibia, who did very well in the previous AFCON. So I think that in the transfer market, they've done very well. But my worry is that on the field, I've not seen much of the positives from them. And you look at how Tinkler has been at Cape Town City, but it's like they are stagnant, man. They are no longer improving. The last time they played the cup final was the MTN 8, where we won against them on penalty. So I think, man, I think Titla, for the time that he has stayed go Cape Town City, I think they should have been a team that is competing with the support that he gets from the management. Like I've said, they've managed to get decent and good players on the market. So I think, man, I expect more from them based on what they have at their disposal. And you look at their numbers, their stats this season, yeah, possession 12. They've only won a single game, and so I think there's still a lot of work that needs to be done. Go Cape Town City, man.
Perhaps I share the same sentiments as you. Like whatever you said, I fully agree with you because I'm honestly not. I've not been impressed with the team, and I even said this towards the end of last season before we played them because this season, man, committee has really supported him in the transfer market. He went out and got a lot of good quality players, but I don't think he's delivering, man. And like you said, he's been there for a while now. He knows the club, he knows the culture, he knows all these players. So and the other thing at this team, man, as much as they signed quite a lot of players, man, I am in desperate need of a goalkeeper, man. It is that, man. Honestly, no, man. I honestly, Kit, no. They need to get a goalkeeper, man. It's always funny when the Cape Town City fan that I follow on Twitter. Every time when the starting lineup comes out, he always questions why is a kid on the lineup. So yeah, as well as having a proper nine. I think they miss having a proper focal point of attack because they've played Gachuesa, the Sukuna, Modu, guys that I do not think were out and out number nines, So yeah, man, I think no, I'm really being disappointed with what I've seen so far from this team, man. We are playing against a former player, Yarona Ilin Hashim Domingo, gaming yena, ne? Uh, do you think Hashim has a point to prove, or would he want to prove a point?
Oh, I don't think so, man. I think obviously a couple of seasons back he was at Mamelodi Sundowns, but he went to Morocco to play for Raja Casablanca. So I think the motivation from Domingo might be I want to have a better season. I think that might be a motivation for him in this season as well in this game against Mamelodi Sundowns because of I think he's going into this game having a point to prove. But someone might beg to differ and say how how Sanders released him. I think some people said it was unfair because of they believe that we still need him within our team. So I think in that aspect there might be a point to prove from him or how the team released me. I think it was kind of unfair. So I think that's how maybe he might have a point to prove. But other than that, man, I doubt he'll go into this game trying to prove a point to us, man.
I think he's gonna want to prove a point to us. I think he's gonna come to this game very, very motivated. More so when you look at the fact that and how he left, as you're saying, because we all know that Rulane wanted to keep Hashim Domingo with Sundowns, but on the management side of things, they said nope, we need to let him go. So I think he's gonna want to prove a point. Let's get into the game. Raps. What do you think we can expect from this game from both sides?
I think for Cape Town City, man, they know that Sanders lost their previous game, so I think they are going to this game very motivated because of they know that Sanders has lost the previous game, and I think one thing about Cape Town City that I've witnessed previously every time they play against Sundowns, they always play positive football. They always attack. They don't sit back and wait for transition or to play with counter. So I think that is the positive from Cape Town City. And as well as against Orlando Pirates in the first leg of the MTN 8, I think they played quite well. I think they should have won that game. They worked collectively as a team. They defended very well. They attacked very well. And this season, they attack with speed, man. You look at the speed of both Domingo, Sibo Chueza, Jolo Jolo. That those are the type of players that can unlock the defense of the opponent with speed and with combination play. Because of you look at their combination play when they have the with and without the ball, I think it is quite impressive. But I think you spoke about Kitty, and I think that is the maybe their weakest link because if you look at the errors that he makes, man, and with the experience that he has, we expect a way better from him. But for Sanlos, man, I think the main thing that we need to focus on, I think it is our defense, man. I think we need to be solid in defense. We play against a team that is pacey in attack, so we need to be able to cut the attacks and cover for one another. Because of against Polokwane City, there was a moment where Libusa was dragged out of the position and no one covered for him, and Polokwane nearly punished us. So I think we need to work as a team in defense and also in attack. And speaking about attack, I think the center backs of Cape Town City, I think they are quite slow, and I think we can expose them with our combination play as well, and as well as our speed by getting behind their defense. Because of you look at both Cupido, Bobo Godino, they are much slower, and once you press them, you have a chance of getting behind them and getting goal scoring opportunities. And I think in this game, the right backs of the two teams, I think they might have an impact in the game because if you look at how Mukize adds numbers for Cape Town City when he overlaps, look at for us Morena how he helps us to create goal scoring opportunities. So I think the red backs of two teams, I think they might have a kind of huge or decent impact on the game, man.
Okay, Rams. From Sundowns, man, I expect the bounce back ability from what we saw over the weekend, and not just in results, not just in us winning this game, but in performance as well. I wouldn't want to win this game and still think, "Hey, Mara, performance, I do not expect a perfect performance, but I want a much more improved performance from what I saw over the weekend. When you play this team, man, hey, it's never an easy game, man. I think more so when you play them at home. And I think that their first at home, our home, yeah, that their first season. I think in the PSL they beat us. I think Manyama scored, if I'm not mistaken. So it's always a tricky game, and Team Club somehow always has a plan for us. If you remember last season, that the last game of the season, they pressed us high and hard, throughout the game, and that's how they eventually got their goal. They didn't sit back and let us build, because of how we played last season. They knew we'd knock the ball around, and then wait for the right moment. But Bonani pressed us high and tried to win the ball as high as possible. Now, we're playing a totally different game now. And I think I, I won't be surprised actually if they maybe drop a bit back, and at times turn that back three into a back three and have someone like Gonzalez playing as a full wing back, because they at times play cut three at the back and he becomes a wing back, So I think they might do that because of how we play to nullify the threat that we pose on the wide spaces, more so on the right Katapelo Morena. And if they don't do that, he will be a danger to us, Gonzalez, on that left side. If when Tapelo goes and he can take advantage of that space that Tapelo can leave behind. And also, I want us to answer questions that this game poses to us, not just do the same thing over and over again, because maybe we are programmed to do that. That's how Sundowns plays. We will play like that. If a game dictates us for us to change how we play, let's change. We have the quality in players, to play and to what the game requires of us. Stellis played when this team played against Stellis, mostly in the first half. Stellis continued to play through their middling. And I think that's something we can do that more so if they close the wide channels. I think we can go at them direct. And there are games where they've only started uh, one of Mukojo, Petros, or Petros would play as a center back, And there's a kid that plays for the national team under 20, Amato or something like that. Very good player. But I think if we go through the middle, we can help them. And like I said, they don't have someone who's a proper out and out nine. They definitely have Chueza or Sokuna. But the thing with someone like Swekuna, he's a runner. He's very mobile. He can get behind us. So we need to keep an eye on him. And Jose is a very, very smart player. But their main threat will definitely come from a host who I think we shouldn't give a room. But with that said, I still think we can and should be winning this game as long as we play to what the game requires of us. Lineups, your lineup.
I'll start Onyango. I'll have Morena, Krankekana, Lebusa, and Tuan is my back four. Then my middle fielder will be Gautier, Allende, Mkulisi. Then up front I'll have Ribeiro, Reynas, and Matthews.
I don't think Matthews will be fit. The way he was holding on to that hamstring, I don't think he will be fit.
I think if he's not available, I think whew, I don't know whether I should give Mabena a chance again. Okay, I'll start Mabena, man.
Hopefully, Lena is fit because he also went out guy injured. But yeah. I'll have Williams, I'll have Morena, Mvala, Kekana, Mutiba. My midfield three will be Gautier, Mukwena, Kulise. My front three will be Ribeiro, Reynas. And I'm still caught in between Kutwano and Lukaku. But I prefer Kutwano playing on the right or Masego. So Yeah. Score prediction.
I think we'll win. I think we'll win 2-1, man. I think we'll win 2-1.
Then I also think we will win 2-1. Perhaps let's end this, man. New game block. These are the next 5 fixtures that are in the Betway Premiership. Cape Town City home, Sikukune home, Amazulu away, Chipa home, Stellies away. How many points?
I think we might collect 13. I think we'll drop points against Telis, man. But I think the other games will collect maximum points, man.
I think it will be another 12 out of 15. I think we'll win 4 and lose to Stellies. And yeah, it will be another 12 out of 15, which will be 24 out of 30. Not bad, man. Thank you guys for watching. Please continue subscribing. Let's grow the channel. The next preview will be the big one of a big match. It will be Mamelodi Sundowns versus Kaizer Chiefs in the Cali Black Label quarterfinal. So we'll bring you that preview before the end of the week. Until then, sharp sharp Masandawana, sharp sharp ups.
Sharp, sharp, Masanda.